The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain Romance Simplified English Series read by Pongsakorn Chanten. Chapter 18. How could you be so noble? There was something about Aunt Polly's manner when she kissed Tom that swept away his feeling of depression. He set off for school and had the luck to meet Becky Thatcher. When he was happy, he could never be angry with anyone, and so he said, "Becky, I behaved very badly today, and I am sorry. Let us be friends." The girl stopped and looked him scornfully in the face. "Please don't speak to me, Mr. Thomas Sawyer." She held up her head proudly and passed on. Tom was stunned. He presently saw her in the schoolyard and made a stinging remark. She fired once in return and could hardly wait for school to begin. So impatient was she to see Tom punished for the damaged spelling book. Poor girl! She did not know that she would soon be in the trouble herself. The teacher, Mr. Dobbin, has reached middle age with an unsatisfactory ambition. The goal of his desires was to be a doctor, but fate had arranged that he should be nothing higher than a village schoolmaster. Every day he took a mysterious book out of his desk and studied it at times. Every pupil in the school was longing to have a look at it, but the chance never came. Now, as Becky was passing by the desk, which stood near the door, she noticed that the key was in the lock. It was a precious moment. She glanced round, found herself alone, and the next instant she had the book in her hands. She noticed that it was Professor somebody's heels and diseased and began to turn the page. At that moment, a shadow fell on the page, and Tom Sawyer stepped in at the door. Becky snatched at the books to close it and had the misfortune to tear a page. She thrust the books into the desk, turned the key, and burst out crying with shame and annoyance. "Tom Sawyer, how could you be so hurried? Creeping up to see what one's looking at. How could I know that you were looking at anything? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I know that you are going to tell the teacher about me. And oh, what shall I do? I will be punished, and I have never been punished in school." And rushed out of the classroom in the storm of tears. In a few moments, the teacher arrived and lesson began. Soon the spelling book's discovery was made. Becky thought for a moment of telling about Alfred Temple, but she forced herself to keep quiet because she said to herself, "He'll tell about me tearing the book. I wouldn't say a word, not even to save his life." Tom took his punishment and went back to his seat, not at all broken-hearted, for he thought that he might have upset the ink on the spelling books himself. A whole hour passed by. Then Mr. Dobbins unlocked his desk and reached for his book, but seemed undecided whether to take it out or leave it. Most of the pupils glanced up idly, but they were to who watched his movements closely. Mr. Dobbins fingered his book thoughtfully for a time, then took it out and settled himself in his chair to read. Tom glanced at Becky. The anxious impressions on her face made him forget his quarrel with her. Quick! Something must be done. He would run and snatch the book, spring through the door and fly. But he hesitated. His chance was lost. The teacher had opened the book. The next moment he faced the school. His stern gaze made even the innocents tremble. There was a silence while one might count 10. Then he spoke. "How could you be so noble? Who tore this book?" There was not a sound. One could have heard a pin drop. The teacher searched west after Faith for sign of guilt. "Benjamin Rogers, did you tear this book?" "Daniel, another pot." "Joseph Harper, did you?" "Another Daniel." Tom's anxiousness grew as the teachers examined the rows of the boys, considered for a moment, and then turned to the girls. Amy Lawrence, a chest of the head. Gracie Miller, the same size. Susan Harper, did you do this? Another negative. The next girl was Becky Thatcher. Tom was trembling for his 2 foot with excitement and a sense of the hopelessness of the situation. Rebecca Thatcher. Tom glanced at her face. It was white with terror. "Did you tear? No. Look me in the face. Did you tear this book?" A thought shot lightning through Tom's brain. He sprang to his feet and shouted, "I did it!" The pupil stared, astounded at Tom's foolishness when he stepped forward to his punishment. The surprise, the gratitude, the worship that shone upon him out of Becky's eyes seemed reward enough for 100 whippings. He took without a murmur the most severe punishment that even Mr. Dobbins has ever given. Tom went to bed that night planning reverse against Alfred Temple, for Becky has told him all. But even the longing for revenge has to give way soon to presenter's thoughts, and he fell asleep at the last with Becky's words still in his ear. "Tom, how could you be so noble?